So, Beto O'Rourke, stand on something, stand for nothing. He usually stands for absolutely nothing. Here he is standing for something, and lo and behold, it's the wrong thing. So, facial recognition has been a concern in the tech world. Another big concern in the tech world is the accountability of social media platforms. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Google, they've been censoring different entities, and this calls into a big question of, are they upholding the free speech laws of the United States? They're technically private companies, so they can kind of do whatever they want. Gee, that presents a real slippery slope now, doesn't it? So I guess any content they don't like, they can just take down. That's kind of concerning because this has become the electronic public square in our lives. The solution to this would be to designate these entities as public utilities and have an elected oversight board who would oversee this stuff. And they would be free speech professionals, and nobody's speech would be taken down unless it violates the free speech laws of the United States, because it is an electronic town square. And if somebody says something you don't like, you can respond to it, or you can have better speech. But there's been all kinds of different proposals out there to solve this issue. And Donald Trump has an executive order that would make the matter significantly worse. Donald Trump's executive order would just give the government, whoever's in charge, overreaching authoritarianism to just nix these social media platforms out. Facebook says something, and it revamps the Communications Decency Act, which allows people to kind of post stuff at will in a free and open internet. All right, so here's Beto O'Rourke talking about this, and he gets it completely wrong. All right, here's a tweet from Fight for the Future. This proposal from Beto O'Rourke is deeply misguided. We can and should pressure big platforms to do a better and more transparent job when it comes to content moderation, but allowing the government to control what speech is allowed online is dangerous. All right, so here's what Beto O'Rourke is calling for and why it's absolutely ridiculous. Because he totally misses the mark here. And it's because he doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to pretty much anything except for how do we make the oil and gas companies happy? All right, so here's Beto O'Rourke's dumb idea. Beto O'Rourke proposes holding tech platforms accountable for hate speech. Okay. Democratic presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke released a sweeping gun violence prevention plan on Friday, proposing a set of changes that he said could connect to blah, blah, blah. All right. The former Texas congressman's plan would require top social media companies to remove hateful content from their websites, opening up the companies to lawsuits if they fail to do so. As it stands, under Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, known as Tech's Legal Shield, websites largely are not liable for their content moderation decisions and what users post on their platforms. O'Rourke's proposal would remove Section 230 protections for platforms that do not make an effort to create and uphold policies against hate speech. Okay, so why is this a bad idea? Here's why this is a bad idea. This is a bad idea because now you're holding Facebook and Twitter directly responsible, and it's the government deciding whether or not they have violated something. How will social media platforms respond to this? They're just going to have overreaching censorship of content. So if you're talking about racism in a commentary sense, they're just going to censor you. If you're talking about racism because you are a racist, they're also going to censor you. If you're talking about news and politics, they're going to censor you. They're just going to have overreaching authoritarian censorship on their platforms because they don't want to get sued. Because they don't really care about people sharing ideas or information. They don't care about that. They care about marketing. They care about selling your information to third-party advertisers. That's what Facebook is for. So they'll just start censoring things willy-nilly because they're concerned about lawsuits. This is not the answer. Furthermore, transferring authoritarian overreach when it comes to online censorship from Silicon Valley to the government, also not a good idea. There shouldn't be authoritarian censorship to censor the internet. There should be free speech laws upheld by elected boards and designating these things public utilities. The problem is technology has outpaced the law. That's the problem. The law has not caught up with technology. We have certain needs. Technology is here. The law is here. So we need to have a new digital bill of rights. And that should not include giving Silicon Valley the will to do whatever they want when their platforms have become the new electronic town squares. It should also not include the government having overreaching authoritarian censorship over social media platforms or any other entity when it comes to content on the internet. The CDA should be upheld. That's why Trump's executive order is terrible, and O'Rourke's idea is also terrible, and they're quite similar, by the way. So Beto O'Rourke, stand on something, stand for nothing. He finally stood for something, and it was a swing and a miss. Big surprise. Good job, Beto.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your